All right. Let's just make sure this is streaming. I always like to before we start talking. And there we go. Hi, everybody. This is Joy Packard. It is a Wednesday night, and we are 8 days away from the SimplezonSeller live event in Houston next week. And we have been bringing to you some of our speakers on these interviews today, tonight. We have, I love it. I don't know, I'm a little bit biased when we have women on board because they're, especially this woman here, you know, she just is, as you guys know, many of you know her. Those who don't, you'll want to follow her and her page. And she's amazing. And I'm just super privileged to have her come and speak on stage next week. She is a woman with a plethora of e-com knowledge, and not just that, but just she has an adorable family. If you guys don't see their little daughter on Facebook, you need to just go check out their page. It's just, I don't know. I love whenever, you know, people talk about their family because, you know, that's really what it's about. And anyway, I'm in awe with this lady. I've met her at the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference last year, and I fell in love with her. And I just follow her, and she just gives so much value in her group and to anybody that meets her. So I wanted to introduce you to one of our speakers, Amanda Balcazar. She's here. I'm going to let her tell you guys a little bit about her, and because, you know, there's a lot that when I do these interviews, there's a lot that I learn myself. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joy. Holy moly with that intro. I totally appreciate it. Yeah, and it's funny because like even when I had the chance to meet you, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had already heard. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Joy Packard. And you know, even coming from you mentioned how I actually get really like enamored and like attracted to people, kind of the same thing that endearingly talk about their family. I don't know. And you have a big core of that because you have 8 children. I mean, some people that don't know, you know, obviously that might be popping on here because I'm sure my husband, who's a sweetheart, is blasting this all over social media right now because he's awesome and does that. But
her husband, his comment, she also has an adorable husband.
Yeah, that's very true. I know because you got to go to Guatemala with him, which was incredible, I'm sure. So, but yeah, you know, my husband and I have been in e-commerce now. I've been full-time 13 years, and he's been doing it full-time with me for 10, a little over 10. So it's been quite some time. And the interesting thing is that like I've had people tell me like, gosh, I feel like you guys just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, well, because we weren't like involved in any of the groups or anything, not for any other reason. We were very active on social media, but we never had a connection really with any of the groups for some reason. So we really were kind of, you know, solo in a sense, but together, we're working it together, but we really didn't have that connection. We didn't attend any events, again, for no other reason that they just weren't on our radar for some reason. And so when the first event that I actually went to, and the first real community on Facebook that I started getting, you know, charged up about and excited about was the merch community. And so we actually started Amazon merch around the fall of 2017, just totally out of the blue. You know, John had heard about it a while prior to that, and we just didn't do anything with it. We didn't really pay attention to it. We were busy with other stuff. And so anyways, when that happened and I started getting involved in the community, and I just loved it. The support was incredible. And it was like, wow, this is wonderful. Because I don't know, and I bring this up because I don't know if there are people out here that are watching it that outside of those communities, hopefully you are involved in them. But if you're not, you know, you might really feel alone because you're like, okay, well, there's plenty of you guys that are not doing this with your spouse or with somebody else. So you might really feel alone. And I was addicted. Once I started going to like the events and meeting people like Joy and, you know, Tim, there's a lot of people that were going to be speaking actually at the event that I've had the opportunity to meet Chris Green and, you know, Tim Jordan and JB, and there's a bunch of people that I'm so excited to be able to travel and visit with. And it's funny because none of us really have any type of business interests with each other. And it's just all this collective team of friends. You know, I'd say like we reach out and communicate and talk to each other. And I think that that's so key. And it was just a beautiful thing of how it happened over the past couple years. So this is just kind of a natural progression to be able to come to an event. And I was going to kind of leave this part till the end, but I guess I'm already here talking about it. I mean, really, like this is the magic. This gets me so excited because yes, John and I enjoyed working together and building something together for our family. But being able to go and connect with other like-minded people, there is nothing like it. What that did to our business, this past 2 years has been a full-on transformation from everything that we've done. And it's just been just incredible from that. So, yeah.
You know, I'm glad that you didn't leave that to the end because that's everything that I feel. You know, I say it all the time too. 2018 was a year of travel for me. I mean, I should go back and count it so I can get accuracy on it. But I think I spoke at about 10 events, and then I attended about probably 3 or 4 on my own, you know, just other events. And, you know, a lot of people say, why do you do that? You know? And partly it's kind of like what you said. It's like, seriously, some of my very closest, nicest, and, you know, it's just traveling with and just being together. You mentioned the word like-minded, and that's the word that I love too, because when you're in a room, when you're at a gathering, when you are at an event, and people that are doing what you're doing, you guys are all together trying to make this crazy thing called Amazon or Amazon merch or Shopify or whatever you guys are doing. You know, when you're in it together, it's kind of like, hey, you know, they're kind of struggling with this particular thing too, or, you know, they're trying to figure out how to do that. And then you get together and just put your minds together. And you know, even like for this event, I'm just super proud, like I say, of just the caliber of speakers like you, Amanda, and just you look at the lineup of speakers and all of that, you know, a lot of people are saying, how did you get this person to fly all the way from Jamaica? Or how did you get this? Or even Amanda or anybody. And I'm like, you know, it's going to events and it's like hanging out and going to a Rockies, you know, baseball game. I didn't even watch the baseball game. I just hung out with people and chatted. I watch it every now and then, but like, you know, like Tim Jordan, people like that, you know, Tim and I got to be really good friends and we all, you know, are excited to help each other and be at this event. And it's not just the speakers, it's the attendees that are there. And those who are watching, I see some who are coming to the event, you know, it's you guys that make the event as well, you know, because it's like, this was something that I've always had. And I think I talk about this a lot too, of like SimplezonSeller starting last year and just bringing people together and seeing what can happen from an event. And, you know, Amanda, I've been watching you and John and you know, you guys have an amazing Facebook page. It's called, what is it? Merch? Do you have 2 pages?
Yeah, well, okay, so we're actually kind of involved in whether it's like we've teamed up with some people or we kind of help out because we are very active in there. So a lot of times they'll be like, hey, you want to be a moderator? Or hey, you want to be an admin? Yeah. So we do have a couple of our own, like we did start our own page, and that's Ecom Hustle Couple. And
hey, John, can you post that so I can kind of highlight that?
John, I know he's awesome. He's all on.
I know he's on there.
There's Ecom Hustle Couple, and then actually, what kind of started off this entire of me kind of being a little bit more involved in working to help provide value for people was when I got invited to be part of the leadership team for Merch Girl Boss or Girl Boss Merch. John will put it in the thing too. I'm not really sure, but it's funny. So, and so there's an incredible group there that helped to run that. And then we kind of just started working with another page that is Ecom Death Race DFQ, which is funny because that's kind of what we're going to talk about, like my topic. And I'm like, it's a little bit, you know, weird because people are just like, I don't know what that is. But after I explain, I'm not going to go too much into it because, again, that's my talk actually for the event. But yeah, so there's that. And I think that's it. Those are the ones. But Ecom Hustle Couple is where you'll see everything for, you know, that we'll start posting and stuff that.
Awesome.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So her and her husband, John, they're this amazing couple. And, you know, when I think of John, I think of the beef jerky he shared with us when our bus was in a protest in Guatemala. We were all starving and John brings out his healthy grass-fed grease. You know, I think of that. And I remember we were all hungry, and we
don't leave home without it.
Right. And see, that's another example. You know, Tim Jordan put together a Guatemala trip, you know, to go private sourcing over there. And, you know, it was a very small group, but we got to know everybody. And then we're all like, you know, connected. And Somebody was asking, how do we know what events? I'm going to put this one up that we're going to rotate between these links here. So how do we know what events to attend or where these events are? Hey, Jessica, I'm so new to this world and want to learn. And yes, I'll answer and I'll let Amanda answer. I know one of the ways that I learned is just by being involved in the groups and, by being in a group, then people will say, hey, I'm going to this or whatever. And then before you know it, you'll connect with people there and you'll meet people like Amanda and then you'll start following them. And then they have, maybe an event that they're going to. So what would you say, Amanda, would be a way to find out when events are? I know there's some kind of link also that lists a lot of the Amazon conferences. I can't remember what it is.
I don't know either. We've actually not, I've not went off of anything like that. I think that events, yes, I definitely think you kind of just have to jump into an event that's being promoted, like obviously like this one, SimplezonSeller, and that you feel connected to, and you're kind of part of the group, and you're like, okay, this is a good place for me to go. And when you're there, you'll connect with a lot of other people that have already been to other conferences. And I always, before I jump into another conference, because I go to a lot, and they're always getting thrown, and John will send me links oh, this could be a good one, or this could be a good one. And I always try and find somebody to give a little bit of a kind of a review on it. And so after I've connected with people, it really only takes one for you to go to, and then you talk to some people, and then you have a list of 3 more to kind of look into and vet out a little bit and see if it makes sense for you to go. And then that's it. I mean, you could probably get a list of 20 different ones. And then once you do connect with some of the people that have gone to ones previously, it doesn't take much to be oh, then there's this one, then there's that one. And I don't want to miss this one because they're going to be there and I want to go, see them and hang out with them. I mean, I've just made the most incredible friends. It's crazy. And it happens. I mean, it's not something that happens overnight. That's for sure. The funny story about how we even kind of really got into the mix and was when John went to CES a couple years ago, and Tim Jordan put on a Facebook page that he was, going to buy. John didn't even know him. John didn't know anybody there. And he was like, hey, I'm going to, buy dinner if people want to come out to dinner. John's like, yeah. I'm hungry. I need food. I'll go. Dinner. That was it, and it was just out of control after that. They hit it off. And then once you hit it off with somebody, a lot of times they have other people that you get to connect with. And so that's kind of just how it, spiraled into this awesome connection. Yeah.
I think I was at the first 3 or 4 CESs. So I see you guys were there, or John was, whoever was there. Yeah. And you were there, but I remember going to that conference, and then from that conference, like you say, you're just drawn. I don't know what it is. It's almost like, I don't know about you. I don't know what it is that I have this awesome ability. Just go to a conference, say, I want to connect with that person over there. I don't know. I'm sure you have that too. A lot of people do. It's like a magnet. Likes to collect. And who for some reason, you kind of think, I don't know. I kind of feel like I like her energy. I like the way that she talks about this or whatever. And then before you know it, like you say, you meet this one person, and that person may have 6 or 7 connections about whatever. Yeah. So you got a new fan now. Oh. Person up.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. And Jessica. And so, I'm sure that there's many people who don't know what Amazon merch is. And, you're Tim Jordan had me at EDM, John. And so what, I know there's a lot of people on here I see who are in the Amazon community. Mm-hmm. And then there's also people who are newbies. So maybe you can kind of tell them a little bit about what you do as whatever I know that you do a lot of things. I do too. Sure. Maybe you can, what's kind of your main line of business that you do, and kind of maybe explain, because some people may not know what e-com, some of the terms that we, FBA or Amazon merch or, prep and ship or whatever. Some of these people are new.
And I'm glad that you said that, because I think that especially being in this space for, like I said, as long as we have, but then getting into the groups, there is a lot, and this is just a common term, shiny object syndrome. And I think that it takes a little while, for you to develop that discipline not to go all over the place. So for instance, I did talk about Amazon merchant. We did work on that. But that is definitely not our, our main thing or our main focus. We shifted and kind of refined and filtered down what we're focusing on. And we are really focused on private label and building our brand in the pet space. And we're committed to doing that. We have a good foundation and, do very well on Amazon with that. But we are pushing really, really hard to just make that, off Amazon presence and work with the driving traffic and branding and just going all out in that direction. Because now that we have the experience, is that something that somebody wants to do, right out the gate? I think that we kind of took the stereotypical kind of gradual business route up to where, a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, like you dove just right in with one product and whatever. But we have a lot of experience to know that this is something that we were very confident that we were going to be able to, have great success with. And that took a lot of time and being able to kind of have trial and error on a lot of different products in other ways. We didn't just jump into private label. We started off with books and CDs and DVDs in the very beginning, literally like, when Chris Green was going to different thrift stores or, book sales. And I'm going to bring my little antique. I'm not going to show you guys tonight, but I have an antique that I'm going to bring with me so everybody can see through this process. And then we did the RA, the OA, which is retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. So initially, like I said, books, we literally just purchased used books and flipped them. And people can still do this. It's the thing. It's funny because I find that because there's all these different things. And right now I'm so focused on the private label and the brand, but that's where we're at right now. And we're ready for that. And I traveled to China. John went to Guatemala. Like we're in a position to where we know how to minimize our risks in those situations, but it took us a long time to be able to see the craziness in the market and what happens ups and downs and selling a lot of different products. And so there's still a good amount of money that can be made within being able to flip books and stuff like that. It's just for us, we wanted something that we were going to be able to scale, and we weren't going to be able to do that without employees. And we didn't want employees in that sense, in that regard. We didn't want to systematize all of that. So then we moved on, like I said, to the RAOA wholesale. And now it's actually going to be a combo. We went into the private label part, building a brand. And now we're going to be doing wholesale as well, but not wholesale for Amazon. We're going to be doing wholesale off of Amazon. So Amazon's going to be a good part of our strategy, but considering this is our entire livelihood and we want to build, our business, I think it's smart for that to be a piece of our strategy at this point, and then for us to have our off Amazon business as well.
I love what you're saying, because that's exactly what our event is about. SimplezonSeller, I call it like a buffet. I have a buffet. We have a buffet of the different methods that people do. And kind of like what you said, I started with literally my husband's junk around the house. I always like to tease them. They're all brand new, got all this stuff around the house. And I thought, man, I want to get rid of this stuff. And I just started like scanning and said, wow, this, and I literally found, in my first 2 months, the first month I made about $1,500 in profit from his stuff. And it was just stuff around the house. It was literally like, oh, he's a lot of gadgets that, he kind of does barter stuff for, he's a doctor, and people say, hey, I'll pay you with a radar, or I'll pay you with this. And, come home with all this random stuff. And, I don't like, and then I was hooked. I was like, wow. And I wasn't even like on a professional account. I was on a free account. And then, I went from there to, retail online, and I do everything. Kind of like what you say is like, yes, anybody who's watching this, you can start with Amazon merch. If you don't have money, you can start, selling t-shirts, whatever. It's kind of a slower process, and those who have used books, Greg Murphy's supposed to be at our event, and, he's got this gigantic, I don't even know how big his store is now. I don't know if you know him. Do you know Greg? He's got a gigantic bookstore where he just has all these books, and he sells, I don't know, he just does so much of books. So it amazes me, because like there's so many ways to make money online, and with Amazon, off Amazon, like I've got, 3 Shopify stores now that I work on. I've got, a lot of things that are going on, but I don't do that all myself. I like to say that to people. So how do you do all that without, losing focus with all this kind of stuff? And it's just, and that's outsourcing. That's a whole subject for like a whole nother day.
For real.
But yeah, I agree with you in the fact that, and we talk about this at the event a lot, and that is we don't try and take your focus off whatever you're doing, but it's don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I'm hearing from you too, because like I have my private label brand and I know this works. I've done private label from the very beginning even. And it's interesting to hear you say, because I know that you're really big in merch and, yeah, this is great, but this is great. And then for me, it's almost like, what do I enjoy doing? Right. Mm-hmm. So eventually you can say, all right, here's the buffet. I kind of like the pizza, but the chicken and vegetables were way better, Right. And so this is what I want to do. And so it's interesting to hear, because I've been watching your journey since I've met you, and you have a lot of things. I know in Guatemala, when we were there, John and us and Tim, and we're all talking about, so excited about the brands and the different things that we could do. Our heads were spinning. I just remember it was such a fun trip. The food was delicious too. But so if Tim's on here, gets on here, we're recommending you, Tim. Hickory Flats. And there it is. John is. I'll put this up as well. They do. He does China, and I don't get anything for saying it. But I just truly, think that his trips are amazing. I went to Guatemala with them. So Laura says, "What's a no pocket suggestion?" And I'm not. That might be something that we have to answer in depth later, unless you have a quick answer. There's some quick answer.
A no pocket. What was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. What's a no pocket suggestion? So
like,
I guess
no money.
I guess for e-com, yeah. I guess just kind of what's a good start? Have more time than money.
Hands down, it's two different things. It's flipping books from, and I honestly think that not only is that it is kind of, it could be a little bit, slower, obviously, if you don't have the money, but you're not going to, you get to learn while you're doing that. So, I mean, books would be my first one, but then, RA is still really, really good. If you know how to find the deals, and I think that's how, for me, it was just kind of a natural progression. It's nothing that I even anticipated. I'll share a little bit of my story at the event, but I never anticipated doing something like that. Like, it just happened. I really was a bargain hunter my entire life. So I can see the value in something, and when something is dramatically underpriced, and knowing that somebody's going to pay more for it. Like, I've just been, I grew up with a single mom, and like stretching $1 was, something that we had to do. So it was like, I can see that. So if I see a bargain and I'm like, wow, that's a really good price. So that was kind of natural for me. Like I said, Amazon merch is zero. If you're going to do, your own work and throw up, literally, John, for a test, just for fun, he got the Over app. Okay. So you can sign up for Amazon merch. I don't know the process now or how long it takes. I don't think it's that long anymore, but you can sign up for Amazon merch. It's free. And you get, I think, initially like 10 slots, basically 10 listings that you can actually put up. So you create your designs, and you can do that on the Over app on your phone. And so John, just for fun, just in text, just funny text, stuff like that, he put it up, and he sells shirts from his phone, just for if he thinks of a quirky little something, whatever. And so it cracks me up, because that's it. Like, he didn't have there's zero cost. None. I think he might have paid $9 for the year or something on Over. I don't know what it was, but anyways, you don't have to. You can use the free one. He just wanted a few different extra fonts. And so it was just interesting that there really is no excuse when it comes to that aspect. And I'm excited for, Chris and his son to be able to talk about that, because that's the coolest thing with kids and the creativity and everything. And I'm going to totally leave that, for them to talk about. And I know they'll do an incredible job, but that is a great opportunity for literally zero cost.
Absolutely. And you guys, some of who are coming on now, and earlier we were talking about when I first started, I sold stuff around my house, and I always tell people, hey, you probably have stuff laying around your house. If you don't have a lot of money to start, you can start, getting rid of your stuff and putting it on eBay or Amazon or different ways. And, some people, I don't do this anymore, but some people do, and they still use it as a good way to earn money on Amazon, or eBay or whatever, but they'll go to garage sales and find things, or Goodwill, and find things for, 25 cents to $1, and you scan. Basically, someone's asking about RA in a nutshell, and John gave a really good definition. And basically, it's like finding an item, say at Walmart, for $2, and it sells on. And there's a way that you can, and that's an in-depth topic, but you can look on an app on your phone and it basically says, hey, buy this for $2 and this sells for Amazon on Amazon for say $15. And after all the expenses and everything, you might make a profit of $4 or $5. So that is an amazing way. I mean, some people say that doesn't work anymore, but there are many people who will tell you that they still do that and earn money. So again, it's just whatever, it is that you love to do. My best friend who does this with me, she loves to shop. She's so good at it. And I like to talk to suppliers and find, whenever my virtual assistants find private label products, I'm like, man, give me the list. And I get excited about sorting and sifting and saying, okay, man, this, like my goal is like in different categories, like a list of replenishables. And those who don't know what that means is basically a product that you can buy over and over again, like say toothpaste. I'm not saying that that's what I sell, but like it's something that people will buy over and over again. So can you imagine if one product can earn you say $100 a month in profit, right? And your goal at the beginning is say, I just want to get $500 a month to pay my car payment, it's light bills or whatever. So you need 5 products that are making $100 a month. It's not super hard. And there's methods that we teach at this conference, off the conference. And so, it's really amazing. Yeah. So we're kind of coming in on the end here. And so one of the things, and I'm going to put this link up here, one of the things of why I did this last year and the reason why I love doing this year, guys, is I love for you guys to meet my speakers that are coming on the stage because they're all incredible. You can see even just from tonight, this is 25 minutes of listening to Amanda. She's gorgeous and smart and everything she does with her business, she's just a go-getter. Her and her husband, I mean, they are an amazing team. You see John posted the Facebook group, their e-com hustle couple thing. And I think that's amazing. And so you hear these things, and what's amazing at this event this year is there's going to be VIP sessions that you can get. And if you don't know what that is, you can go on SimplezonSeller, which is the link below. This is a link that if you get on here, you'll see all about it. We have over 21 speakers. It tells you a little bit about it. We've added an installment plan, even this late in the game, because a lot of people are like, I kind of want to go, but this or that, and I want this package. So there's really seriously no excuse. And Houston has 2 airports, Houston Hobby, Intercontinental. We made the hotel kind of in the middle, so it's 25, 30 minutes each way. And for those, I do travel. I've been doing travel for 15 years. For those who need a last minute flight, you can go to an app. This is free information. Skip, S-K-I-P, and maybe John, you can spell it out, lagged, L-A-G-G-E-D. It's an app on your phone.
Nice.
You can get last minute hotels, last minute air.
I can't believe I didn't know about it.
I know, you learn all these awesome things. So I was in Reno for a conference and I needed to get home to my kids earlier. And I was like, okay, I'll just kind of look on Skip Lag. And oh my goodness, sometimes there's a glitch and sometimes you just get lucky. It's basically, they're trying to help the airlines fill their seats that haven't sold last minute.
Sure.
It's easy. And so from Reno to Houston, $38 one way. And I'm like, oh my goodness, straight flight. I just use my Southwest credit for the future. But I'm just saying, like, if you are anywhere near Houston, 6 hours in driving or less, there's no reason to not be here. We're going to offer you guys, because especially those who are on here, if you come on the replay, you can do hashtag replay, private message Amanda, private message me, and she's going to offer you guys a special deal. I told her she could.
I know. I have 2 deep discounts left. So if you're close to Houston or even not, you can make it there. Like she said, she just gave you a tool to check it out. You have no excuses, you guys. If you want to dive in and hear what I've been talking about with all of these events, like, I can't even tell you, it really is. And you've seen me. I'm not going to these events, month after month. Obviously, they're not free for me to attend. The value that you get out of them is tenfold every single time I go. So come, I know the people that are going to be there, a good chunk of them. There's a good amount that I don't, and I'm excited to meet all you guys, but come to the event, hang out, meet everybody. It's in Houston. I heard there's great tacos there. So that's another bonus, right? All about the tacos.
Barbecue and tacos. I tell you what, that's what Houston and Texas are known for.
So like I said, I have two of those deep discounts left, and they're great. I mean, thank you for letting me offer those. So private message me if you guys want one of those. First come, first serve. I'll get you the discount code, and you guys can come hang with all of us. It's going to be a blast. I promise.
Yeah, we're not going to post it on here because we're only giving 2 ways. So you can private message Amanda or myself. And the other thing we're going to add on here as another special bonus for you guys is if you do if whoever gets those 2, you know, it's basically for the basic package or whatever, or if you want the others. But if you get the basic package, we're going to throw in the ability to go to the VIP dinner. On me. I'll throw in 2 of those as well. So the VIP dinner, you guys might be wondering, why is that a big deal? Well, let me tell you why it's a big deal. Number 1, food in Houston is amazing. Number 2, you get to hang out with all of the speakers. Literally, can you imagine if you're sitting by Amanda and then John's going to be there? By the way, John, if you're coming, you're invited to the VIP dinner, of course. And, you know, you guys are sitting by people who know this stuff, and you can actually, you know, just sit there and ask questions. It's some of the most incredible networking. And, you know, if you ever have a chance to be in a room with 6- and 7-figure income earners right here around you, where you can say, hey, you know, I'm kind of getting started with merch, and what do you think about this? Or whatever questions that you have, you know, I'll be there. By the way, last year I did not stay at the hotel because I only live 20 minutes from there. I still only live 25 minutes from this hotel, but guess what? I'm staying there because this is too hard. I'm going to be there, and I'll be, you know, hanging out in the lobby to make myself available, and it's going to be super fun. And where the location is, if you guys are from Houston or not, we're at the Galleria area, to where all around within walking distance are some of the most incredible places to eat, places to do karaoke, dance. You know, for those who drink, I don't drink, but those who do, there's bars all over. It's just a fun time. So we encourage you to come. You are coming in on the close. You know, this event is going to have, you know, some amazing, I mean, I don't know if you'll ever see a lineup of speakers like this again. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. I mean, I am so excited to go to my own conference. I'm going to be there right beside you guys with a notebook in hand, maybe 3, maybe more, of taking notes furiously. You know, I'm just going to be like doing what you guys are doing, because I am excited to learn from Amanda and from everybody else that's there, and from the attendees. And so with that, there's your link. It's in the comments. It's on the screen. Just copy and paste it. And those of you who want the 2 special discounts that we're offering and the 2 VIP dinners that will go with it, private message Amanda or John or myself, and we'll get you set up. And we hope to see you guys in Houston. And so, Amanda, I know your time is super valuable. Thank you for taking the time out. And those who joined us live, we know your time is super valuable. Thank you. And those who are coming on the replay, we thank you for watching that as well. This is incredible value just in what we had here. And this is just a snippet of what you will get at what's going to be happening at SimplezonSeller. Yeah. So with that, good night, everybody. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you in Houston.
Yes, good night.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.